we are rolling.
Good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. This is Midlife Crisis Activities. This is our lifestyle and pop culture webcast, our daily shout out to the world. I'm your host, Patrick Russell, and over there is my very vivacious producer, Veronica. Together, we're here to lend our voices to the noise from a multi-generational perspective to help explain everything that's right and wrong in this world. Good day to you, Veronica. Boy, I gotta hand it to you, girl. When it's your day to choose a topic, you always go consistent.
Yep.
The dark arts of social media and how maybe Facebook can affect your marriage. Am I right?
Yeah, so thank you, Patrick. I like choosing topics that I see every day in social media. So
Or could be on your mind every day?
Yeah, probably.
People are going to start to worry.
I wanted to talk to you guys and Patrick about social media, per se Facebook, and how it affects couples from getting a divorce.
You found a story online, didn't you?
Yeah.
You can describe the story a little bit, but I got to tell you right now, off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, my fake news bells were going off, and the reason why is because this study, and I read a little bit of the story that she came across, came from a place called the Journal of Cyber Psychology, Behavior, and Social Networking.
Fancy.
That sounds legit.
That's fancy.
Go ahead.
I think now that everyone is in social media, and whoever doesn't have social media, probably they're over like 80 years old.
Ooh,
so,
Papa.
Yeah,
Nana.
so I've been reading about, social media and affecting couples in, mentally, physically, whatever. But I think that it affects couples from being together and then eventually getting a divorce. But once again, it's not Facebook or Instagram. It's not social media per se. It's the ability of the person, right?
Self-control from the individuals in play, right?
So I don't like the idea of this article saying, Facebook, it's affecting couples and, they're getting a divorce and then the high number of divorces. No, it's not that.
That's a cop-out, isn't it?
And I wanted to cut the BS about it, It's not Facebook, it's not Instagram, it's the persona, it's you, it's me, it's Patrick, it's whoever gets into the dream about social media, because we do see a lot of things, right, Patrick? Not
anymore. Remember now, since I've really started my online pursuit of being an online virtual creator of material and posting things, moving forward in a business direction, I rarely look back, and that's just me as a practice. We've talked about this in the past, so I was kind of looking forward and not really letting any comments or criticism really slow me down. So that's part of it. But then the other part of it is you. I don't want to give the impression that there's any young ladies out there that might have some big boobies or big butts that might be drawing my attention, either from, a mental standpoint or, God forbid, an emotional standpoint,
Ouch.
Right?
Yeah.
Because really what you're talking about, I think, from what I gathered, is the emotional cheating. Yeah. That happens, I think, even beyond our real knowing at some points, whether it be a coworker, somebody from school, somebody that's in your social circle that you would otherwise wouldn't really look at that person in that way, but because you're always running into each other per se on a social media site and you're beginning to create a connection with that person.
Ooh,
just saying. From what I've heard goes. This is how I've heard how it goes. And so that emotional cheating, even unbeknownst to the players involved, sometimes that line is crossed. And let's face it, I think most husbands understand that if your marriage is the number one most important thing in your life, then social media can't even be in your top 5, right?
And funny you mentioned that, because before, when I was younger and when we started dating,
a couple years ago?
A couple years ago, I was a little bit more, I wouldn't say afraid or concerned. It was more of like the idea of just look at me, right?
Right.
But
the
once
attention.
again, I ever since, and I'm gonna be honest with everyone, ever since I started losing weight, ever since I look at myself every day.
And you look great, by the way.
Like,
Congratulations on that consistency.
Thank you. Thanks. And I'm
you've been an inspiration to me.
I'm pretty, and not to be,
You're
not
modest.
not to
worry.
be like that, but I think that changed my perspective. Obviously, I don't like my husband to see anybody else besides me, because that's just the reality of it.
Sure. That's just the Latino wife in you coming out.
Patrick will let you guys know, even before maybe like 4 years ago, we used to watch movies, and then it was like a really hot, Latina or...
I felt like I was back in the theater with my parents, with my eyes being covered, Well, no, my eyes being covered under the hot and steamy scenes. She started doing that to me before I had to set her straight, because you were ruining some great parts of the movies, lady.
Oh, and that was annoying. And now I understand. And even now we watch movies or even just on the streets.
Boy, you get uncomfortable, don't you, when there's a hot and steamy scene, because you don't want me to enjoy it too much.
Not anymore.
Oh,
because if you notice, I have changed the perspective of it. Because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, what can you do by seeing? Obviously, if you're not staring at someone, if you're not looking at, staring at the TV or something, it doesn't matter. And I think once we know that, and then it kind of changed the whole thing.
But that's a little different now, too. Last point. I think that, marriages have to look at social media from two standpoints. One, there's this voyeurism that I think you talk about, not wanting me to really look at other pretty girls. I mean, there's always an insecurity. I think all girls and all ladies can understand that. Nobody wants that.
And men, too.
Men too. Absolutely.
Let's not talk about only us.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
But see, the good thing about Patrick, just to clarify, is that he doesn't even look at my phone, my Facebook.
Who's got time?
Yeah, well, and that's a good thing because, I
don't have to worry about you, sweetheart, do I?
No.
I don't think so. So, last point. So, you have the voyeurism, but then you also have, let's say, the emotional cheating that can sometimes creep up in your online relationships, especially from people from the past. Am I right? Guys, please, there's no right or wrong answer, but there is your opinion. Use the comment box below. Don't just subscribe to this channel, even though we will be doing this back and forth, so you can see what a power couple has to think about and deal with on a social media side.
Yep.
But lend your voice to the show. It'll make it a whole lot more fun. Guys, it doesn't matter what comes your way today. It doesn't matter what challenges or obstacles you may face. You just need to remember one thing. Give them hell. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon.